Hi, I'm back. And today we are talking about company loyalty or employee loyalty because this is something that really misunderstood, taken out of context, and just so many myths around it that even my grandmother would be jealous because she was the queen of myth. She would say to me things like, I am not allowed to drink water for 1 hour after eating apricots because I am going to die of liver failure. So company loyalty is on a similar level as my grandmother's apricot and water myth. Hi, I'm Sylvia, an organizational psychologist, and you know that I talk about everything and anything related to human resources and people experiences. I work with companies helping them to create better employee experiences so you guys can have a better time and they can stop moaning about losing you. But losing employees, is it really a bad thing? And we're going to talk about that today because employee loyalty is directly linked into this. So I have prepared you 3 articles, which will be I will put the links below. And really just to question everything that we understand and know about company loyalty, because that is driving me crazy. And I don't even know where to start with it. But let's start with the definition, because I think this is where we went wrong. And maybe after that, we look at how it can hurt company loyalty, how it can hurt employees and employers, because that's not a good thing. Trust me, each time I managed employees, I always encouraged my line employees after a year and a half, move on. What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your life? And I never understood managers and leaders, but now I understand, and I'm going to make a point on that. Let me just make a note. Why they want to give or keep their employees. I never wanted to keep. Be with me for a year and a half, line employees, and move on. Supervisors, exactly the same. Managers, maybe 2 years, but then move on with your life because you need new experiences, you need new environment, you need new perspective, you need a new job, a leader, a new team members, because this is how you test yourself. If you can only work for one leader or one manager, something is wrong with you, okay? So I never really liked when 2 people stick together and then they go from one job to another. Oh, I've been with my manager for 15 years. Not great, I have to say, if you follow one person, because that says a lot about you and also about the manager or leader, because the person is not testing his or her managerial leadership skill with other people. Do you guys stick together because it's easy for both of you and you can't manage and led by other people? So many questions about employee loyalty, but let's start with the definition. Now, if you look at definition, company loyalty or loyalty has nothing to do with length of service. Because if you look at the definition of loyalty, it means support. Now, bear that in mind, because this is the key element to the misunderstanding. So, employee loyalty is really, what do you want me to support you while I'm with you? And that could be 1 week, that could be 1 month, 6 months, 6 years. I'm here to support. But I'm not here to sacrifice my life, my health, my family, my kids, and completely dedicate my life and resources and time and everything to the company. And me staying with you for the rest of my life. That's not what company loyalty is. And if you think that way, please do not manage or lead people. Okay, that's just my private opinion. So, now let's look at what employers say that loyalty has changed. Sorry, I had a long day. Loyalty hasn't changed. Loyalty is today looks as it's supposed to look all the time. Because in the past, My grandmother, 42 years in the same factory. God bless her. That was the definition of loyalty. You stay with the company. Then it turned into you dedicate your whole life to that company. This is where we are kind of today, right? That you need to do the extra hours, you need to answer your phone during the weekend, out of working hours, and if you don't do that, you are not loyal. But now Gen Z, and Gen Z is being attacked a lot, and we hear it over and over again, Gen Z is not loyal. But that's not true. It's your understanding over what loyalty means is false. Therefore, you say that Gen Z is not loyal. I think Gen Z is going by the definition of loyalty, which is support, and say, what do you want from me? They turned work into transaction. How do you want me to support? So for that, they need clear expectations. What do you want me to do between 9 to 5? Gen Z is doing the definition of loyalty, which is support. So ask yourself the question, what do you want Gen Z to support you with? What do you want anybody in your workforce to support you with? And if you look at it that way, the length of time, how they're doing it, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you have contractors, you have freelancers, you have consultants. Does it mean they are not loyal? It doesn't make any sense. So let's make sure that we understand what loyalty means. We know what we expect from people, so setting expectations and clear picture over what they want, what we want them to deliver, and they will deliver it. They will support you. That will be their loyalty. Now, so that's out of the way. Definition, and Gen Z is not loyal. No, Gen Z is transforming. So we went from 42 years with the same company. This is what loyalty meant. Then we turned it into working 24/7, which meant loyalty. And even now we are there still. But then Gen Z is moving. No. My loyalty is I work during the working hours, whatever you pay me, transactional. You need to tell me how to support you during that time, and that's that. And I have no problem with it. Now, let's go to the next one, which is kind of linking, right? And this loyalty is really output. It's nothing else. Because if I'm spending time with you, and I spend 25 years with you, but my output is not much, you would still call me based on old misunderstanding, that, oh, she's loyal. But today, this is just not true. And it's really all about what do we take out of everybody in terms of their competence? How do we leverage people's talent and experience, skills, knowledge, etc., why they are with us, right? And employers just can't get their head around this concept that if you manage to, the only reason, and here is the thing, I like saying this to leaders because sometimes a big slap on the face is needed for them to understand the message. If you manage to, or if we were so good at measuring employees' performance and output, we would not be bothered by measuring length of service. The only reason we measure length of service, because it's easy, and because we don't know how to measure output. That's the reason. There's no other reason, okay? Because the moment you start or be able to measure what has Sylvia's impact been in the past 4 weeks, right? Then you don't need to measure even the cost of hire. That's another redundant KPI because it offsets it immediately. If I come in here and I implement something, I change the system and I make 45 people more productive, the cost of hire is offset by this. And I can stay with you for 1 month only and say, you know what, it's not for me, thank you very much. You spend $1,000 on recruiting me, just an example, but based on making these 45 people more productive, the company is going to generate an extra $100,000. And if you look at people's performance like that, you will move away from all the silly KPIs of length of service, cost of hire. First of all, you can't put cost of hire to every single role. Most of the time, roles done by or recruitment by internal recruiters cost absolutely nothing. So let's not go there because you can't actually put number to it. That's why it's not on your P&L. And employee engagement, you can't put actual cost to it. That's why it's not in your P&L. Those are very difficult ones to, pinpoint and nail it down, and this is it. So let's not go there because you just, create an argument that none of us will win. So, but let's get back to why we should not be, or looking at the output, right? So the reason we like to measure these things because we can't measure output. And it's nothing to do with, with loyalty. Why do you ask yourself the question? And here I wanted to make this note for you. Ask yourself the question, why, as a manager or leader, why do you want your employees to stay with you? It's not the cost of hire because you really don't care. Especially if you are working in a large company. Especially if we can't even measure it. It's not about because you care how long Sylvia, or you care about your HR KPIs that we need to have. Sometimes we have these silly KPIs per department, Your turnover is really high. Okay, I have 2 people on the team, one left, now it's 50%. The reason you managers and leaders care about or want to keep people, not care about, you want to keep people and to stay with you. You want to literally shackle them down, stay here with me. Is because you are lazy to train and onboard and coach and guide and explain the new job to a new employee. It's effort. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of hustle. And I understand that. Keeping all the employees, even if they are unproductive, inefficient, ineffective, it's much better for you as a manager or leader because you can just sit back and, sometimes you go there and course correct. Hiring a whole new person in there, it's weeks of training. And who the hell wants to do that? Well, I always wanted to do that. I love training people. I love new people. I would be so happy to run a hotel only, not the managers, obviously, but the line staff, only by interns on a 6-month rotation. And they would have 1 week overlap, maybe 2 weeks, to train each other. But you need a robust training plan, which I'm very good at. And they would cross-train each other or train one, and then is leaving, and that is taking over. And the managers are there to support these guys. I would love doing that. I would absolutely love it because they drive me crazy, these interns, They're just in La La Land. And I love them because I love, guiding and coaching. But if you insist keeping your people, ask yourself the question, is this the reason? Because it's just too much hassle bringing new people on board? Now, let's move on from that because that is always a touchy subject. So the second part, the second article is talked about the transactional nature of Gen Z, right, and the workforce and how it's turned around. And really is not something that we want to look at these old KPIs, but the output. Because for the moment we can measure output, we don't need to look at any other nonsense HR KPIs. Now, I left the best for the last. And this article is titled Employee Loyalty is Overrated. And here's the thing. It is overrated because it doesn't make any sense. Employee loyalty has changed just like everything else over time. And I talked about it, right? But what this article is talking about, and I started with my own example. I'm 47 years old and I have never regretted anything in my life up until last year. I always said to my grandmother, I don't have any regret, never. And she always said, never said anything. And there it came. So after over 16 years with my company, I left. And I regret now, today, staying for so long because it damaged me. So let's talk about that. How loyalty, the old traditional way of looking at loyalty, which is long service, right, can hurt the employee and the employer. So let's start with the employees. And now I'm talking about some data that I have researched and also my experience. It can obviously hurt your career by slowing your growth or keeping you on a predefined path. So I have literally always been proud to work for Accor, always. And this company has allowed me to do anything I ever wanted. I moved countries, continents, moved jobs, department. I've done everything, operation, corporate, whatever I wanted. And it did suit me because that's my personality. I like loyalty. I like the people around me who I know, the system. And it did suit me. This is my nature. I like the same people around me. Anyway, however, I cannot shake the idea that it held me back. And last year I realized that what I regret is not necessarily staying, but what I regret is that I have not given myself the opportunity to see something else. Because there's a lot outside of hospitality. So I'm doing it now. And in the past year and 3 months now, I have worked with startups, with FMCGs, with oil and gas company, with another hotel, God help me, and other creative agencies. And it's a whole new different world out there. Now the problems, everybody has the same problems, so don't get confused. I realized that everybody has the same problem. So by September last year, I was like, why the hell did I leave? Everybody has the same problem, no wherever I go. But anyway, but it gives you a different perspective. It gives you meet with different caliber of people, and it's just, it's a good thing. That's why I regretted it. It can, second point, why it can hurt you or damage you, it can keep you miserable under false belief. You have no idea how many GMs I know that are miserable and don't want to do the job or are just fed up with their companies. It's not Accor, it's all the big companies. But at the same time, they have this illusion that, here I am, I have seniority. And I'm like, what seniority? You are treated like everybody else. They don't have any leverage by staying there 25 years. It's just in their mind. And that mindset is keeping them chained to this company. They are miserable. They complain. They ask every year, move me somewhere. So we move the problem from one hotel to another because the problem is really the person. We should move them out, go and do something else, anything, really, anything. So this idea that they have seniority is literally keeping them miserable. You don't have seniority, okay? You will be removed when we need you to be removed, like that. I can't click with this. Your salary growth will be slow. It is a fact. Look at statistics. I'm not even going to talk about it. Your knowledge, skills, and the way of thinking will be stagnant. Staying in the same place, it means that you know everything inside out. I knew everything inside out of Accor. Like, you can't give me new information. But there are no new things, practices or skills. Yes, you will be learning. But the learning is more like adopting rather than learning. So I would really like to see neuroscientific data on people who change companies and how the brain changes, and people who How does learning look like in two different brains? Because that's, I believe, I don't have a proof, I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe I am. But there's no learning, it's adopting. It's not, there's no learning there. And the last one, you will develop a tunnel vision, which I had. This is a very homogeneous environment, right? And it will lock you in, and you will not see the millions of options and opportunities outside of that organization, which I have realized last year. Like, Jesus Lord, there's a whole new world that I have never seen. So then somebody tells you you will not find anything better, or you will ruin your career. I love that. You will ruin your career if you leave us. Or, you know, we will promote you in the near future sometime, inshallah. Just go, okay? Just go, for your own sake. Because it can damage you. Maybe not finance, I mean, it can damage you in any way. Now, if you feel comfortable and you just want to cruise through an easy career, stay. You know, every place is the same shit, I guarantee you that. It's just different place, different people, but the same problem. Now, what is the damage for employers? Why you employers should not be fixated on keeping people? Let them go. Move the talent pipeline, please. Inbred competence. The lack of fresh ideas, perspective, skills, knowledge, experience. These are the ones that maintain the status quo. And then you start writing on your values, creativity. Dude, you have an inbred workforce. What creativity do you want? This is how I work up I get with people. And so you will lose out to your competitors. Definitely. Loyalty, especially at strategic level, Jesus, can be so dangerous to growth, innovation, and change in business. It also goes against your diversity slogans, just FYI, okay? Okay, now with 22 minutes, so we need to speed up. You can reward something that is not valuable to the company. And here, listen up, okay? Companies only want loyalty when they cannot measure a person's contribution. So we talked about it, right? And sometimes loyalty looks like that. Please pay attention. Long tenure is no contribution. It doesn't mean that I have contributed just because I spent 25 years with you. Have I worked? Absolutely, right? But we all have those colleagues, we can't wait to retire because they just don't do anything. They're just blocking the space of a competent person who could actually move the organization forward. So they are not there because they are loyal. They are there because they are incompetent and nobody else ever hired them. Please. And then you give reward to these people. What is the example that you are showing to others? That you are rewarding and recognizing and valuing years of service with no contribution. You reward the person who nobody ever hired. Everybody's been through, even my grandmother, I'm sure she never, but most of us been through millions of, a lot of interviews because we all try to move. So the person who's been with you for 14 years, that person has sent probably hundreds of applications, has attended maybe 10, 15, 20 interviews, and nobody took him or her. And you are now rewarding that. Please just think about it. Not everybody, obviously. Some of them are really productive. And then the last one is you are blocking your talent pipeline, losing talent and money. Turnover is great because it allows you to bring in fresh talent, skill, and that the company needs. There's nothing worse than losing talent because you cannot put them in the right position, because that incompetent, loyal person is blocking that seat. Now, I understand that sometimes it's very difficult to remove people, especially in Europe, but this is where you are bleeding money. You just need to understand that. You lose money on not having the necessary skill, knowledge, experience, competence, and not on recruitment. Recruitment cost compared to this, that you are losing on loss of talent and missed opportunities, I can't even quantify it. I don't think anybody can. So yes, the benefit of loyalty is not as straightforward as we are taught, right? And hiring from different industries is, I think, is also underused, underutilized, because we always, oh, you need industry experience. For what? You don't actually need, because I just told you that I've been in 5-7 different industries and all the same crap. So at least they have a different perspective. Maybe they can fix this crap and make it a little bit better for everybody. So you guys, I wanted today you to think about this, how you view loyalty. Now, maybe you have a very different understanding, and it's great. But, you know, loyalty has changed. It's ever going through this evolution like everything else. I think now it's what it is. But just always remember its definition is support. So ask yourself the question, what do I want people to support me with? And same applies to your partner, your husband, your wife, your kids. When you say, oh, they are not loyal. Well, maybe they were loyal. They were supporting you, but you did not listen, and now they are somewhere else. You lost them to somebody else, and you lost your employees to the competitors. And that's that. They went there and seek other opportunity. That's what they were doing, seeking other opportunity. So that's all I have for today, you guys. I'm gonna go and have dinner, iftar, because it's iftar time here. And tell me in the comment below what you think of loyalty and how should we view loyalty and what is your experience. That was my experience, and I brought in some scientific data or research data to this as well. I will put all the links in the comments. Enjoy and tell me what you think. Bye.